Hey everyone, my name is Allie, and today I'm going to show you how to set up a container garden. So a container option is great if you are renting, or maybe you are just wanting to dip your toe into gardening and you're just not ready yet for something permanent like raised beds. The reason I am doing it this year is because we are probably moving in the middle of summer and I don't want to miss out on a great growing season, but I also will need to take my plants with me. So I'm doing a container garden and I'm going to be using a Greenstalk vertical garden. So I'll be showing you how to plant in that, but you can also apply these tips and this process to any kind of container. So this is the general purpose soil that I'm going to be using. It's called Pro Mix, and then I'm going to be mixing this with compost. So these are the two composts I'm going to use. We have cow manure and then I have mushroom. I'm going to do a mix of 1/3 Pro Mix soil, and then I'll do 1/3 of the cow manure and 1/3 of the mushroom compost. And then I also have some worm castings that I'll sprinkle in once I've mixed all my soil together. And I wanted to make note of how I calculated how much soil I needed. The Greenstalk containers, actually on the website, it tells you how many gallons fit in each tier. And so from then I just did some math. So here's my Greenstalk vertical garden. Here's actually just one tier. There's 6 of them. I have the Inventor's bundle and I'll have my exact one linked in the description box. I also have a discount code. I bought this with my own money, but I have a discount code for $10 off. Here is how I planned out my garden. So I kind of drew each of the tiers with the 6 leaves inside, or the 6 pockets. And so what I'm going to do is plant the larger things in the bottom 3 tiers. And then in the top 3 tiers, I'm going to do smaller things like kale and lettuce, a whole tier of herbs that will probably go on top. And then I also have cabbage in one. I want to do a lot of sauerkraut this summer. Then on the bottom tier, I'm going to alternate green beans and a root vegetable. I think I'm just going to do carrots. And then I'm also going to do tomatoes and alternate eggplant. And then my last tier has all peppers, jalapenos and bell peppers. And then I'll also show you, I'm going to do separate containers of zucchini and squash since those are much bigger. Here are some of my plants. These were seedlings that my neighbor gave me. And there's lettuce and kale and broccoli. And then I also bought some plants. For the Greenstalk, you're going to want to fill each of your tiers with soil before you stack them. And I have all of my supplies ready. I have a bucket that I'm actually going to mix my compost and my soil in. And then I'm very professional. And I have a children's sand, beach like sand shovel. I also have a pitcher of water here. I will be throwing my hose up onto the deck to water, but I haven't done that yet, and so I have a pitcher of water because you're going to want to pre-moisten your soil. I'm putting on gloves because this cow manure is stinky. So I've got them about this far filled up because then I'm going to plant my plants and then add more soil on top. I don't want to fill them all the way up and then have to dig holes to fit my plants in. This is what one tier looks like all planted up. I alternated tomatoes and eggplant. And now I am going to move on to the next tier. For this last tier, I am going to put all of these little plant babies that my neighbor gave me into this one. It's all lettuce, broccoli, and kale, and I think there's some Swiss chard as well. I was finding some aphids on them, so I don't want those to spread to my other plants. So I just took them inside and rinsed them off really well. And so all the aphids are gone, and I might try and find like an essential oil solution to spray on my whole planter just to kind of combat those, since I know that they're, you know, a pest that I'm going to have to deal with. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and plant up this last tier, and then I'll assemble and put it together. This is my second tier that I did, and I have all peppers in here. So I have alternating bell peppers and jalapenos, and the bell peppers are, I think I have 2 red variety and then a yellow variety, and then the jalapenos are all, I think they're all the same, but I am planning on using those for pickling or fermenting, and so I won't mind having a lot of those. So this is the final of the large tiers for me to fill, but I'm not going to put anything in this one right now because I think I'm going to do green beans in 3 pockets and then some root veggies in 3 pockets, and I'm going to direct seed those. So that just means that you put the seeds directly in the soil. You don't start with seedlings first. So this one is done, and this one I think is going to go on the very bottom. Now I'm moving on to my 3 top tiers, and these ones are smaller, and these are going to be for things like herbs and lettuces, broccoli. So I just realized that I forgot my worm castings. These should have been put in the holes that I dug before I put my plants on top. Can't believe I forgot it. I'm still going to put this in though. I'll just sprinkle it in and kind of mix it as much as I can. But worm castings, very important. Alright, so now it is time to assemble my Greenstalk and stack them on top of each other. It is about to rain, I think. A storm is rolling in, so I better move quickly. So I have my Greenstalk all planted. It poured down rain as I was finishing putting up the tower, so I didn't get to finish showing you how to assemble it, but you get the idea. So I'll give you a tour of what I have in my Greenstalk in a second. But I also wanted to do some zucchini and squash. Now these are big plants and they are not ideal for the Greenstalk. So I got these, they're kind of like planter boxes and they fit on the rail. I'll show you, just like this. And I am going to plant 1 zucchini in this, and then I have another one that I'm going to put 1 squash plant in, and that will be plenty for our family. But I have the same exact soil mix in this planter that I do in my Greenstalk. So this is the water reservoir, and I'll show you how to water the Greenstalk in just a second, but basically you just pour water in the top and it will filter down into all of the tiers, which is so nice and convenient. But let me give you a tour of what I have in my Greenstalk. So on this top tier, I have alternating cabbage, lettuce. Oh, this one is actually just a random. I had some extras left over, so I just added those there. I have cabbage, kale, and cabbage. In the second tier, this is my herb tier, and I have cilantro, rosemary, thyme, sweet mint, sage, and basil. This tier is my lettuce and kale tier, so I have lettuce, Swiss chard, lettuce, kale, and kale. This fourth tier has all peppers in it, and it's alternating bell peppers and jalapenos. This tier has our green beans and our root veggies alternating. This last tier has alternating tomatoes and eggplant, and the tomatoes are all container friendly varieties. Alright, so that is going to be it for this video. I hope that this showed you how easy it is to set up a container garden, and you can still get plenty of fruits and veggies grown from home, even if you don't live on land and even if you're renting. I will have this Greenstalk as well as a discount code linked in the description box for you. I'll also include some other great container options for you if you don't want to go the Greenstalk route. Make sure you are subscribed to my channel if you haven't done so already. You can also follow me on Instagram at Allie_Gooch. Alright, I love y'all, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.